So, hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Simone here. We have already filmed the beginning of this video, but guess what? Who didn't press the record button? That would be me. So, we're going to film it again. Yeah. So today we're filming the Reading Habits book tag because me and AJ have very different styles of reading. Oh, by the way, AJ's here.
Hello. I haven't seen you for a long time.
Yeah, I read, like for example, I read 121 books last year. How many books did you read last year?
1.
So there's a big difference there. So we thought it would be interesting to do the Reading Habits book tag because obviously we have very different reading habits, and yeah, it's just really interesting to find out kind of how we read and how we differ. So the first question is, pretend like you've not heard this before.
So the first question is,
do you have a certain place at home for reading?
Bed. For me it's a device really to get to sleep, so bed, definitely bed. You're quite varied in yours.
Yeah, I used to be though, more than I am now. I mean, I can read on like the train or whatever, but generally I tend to read on the sofa. I used to read in bed, but it actually makes me fall asleep. So
how do you read on the train? Sorry to interrupt you, but how do you read on the train? It's always like jostling around and...
No, it's like reading on the bus. Oh, I don't read on the bus
Again,
actually. I get car sick, so I don't read on the bus, but I do read on the train.
I can't read on the bike. I suppose I'm not used to reading travelling.
Okay. Number 2, bookmark or random piece of paper?
Bookmark.
Bookmark,
yeah, 100%, absolutely. For me, I've got a Henry VIII, isn't it? Yeah. Bookmark with all his wives and things. I feel a little bit kiddie saying that.
You've got like the leather one with the little tassels.
Yeah, it feels quite nice, but it's like a... Yeah, so I use that, and yeah, that works for me. And you said bookmark as well. Yeah,
I've got a lot of... I don't actually use leather bookmarks though. I use paper ones, like you know the card ones you get. Like I use the ones like the one I got a Harry Potter one when I got the Cursed Child. It was like free with it. I've got 2 of the Zoella Book Club ones that were free with W.H. Smith's. I've got a Book Voyage one that I got from the subscription box, which I'll link below, the unboxing of that. But yeah, I have one in each of the books I'm planning on reading soon, so I can just pick it up and go, basically.
And was it last year or the year before I got you one from Blarney Castle? We went to holiday. We went to holiday on Ireland.
We did. We went to Ireland in 2016.
It was really, really good. And we went to the Blarney Castle, and in the little gift shop they had a little bookmark there as well. I bought that, but that didn't last, did it? That one broke.
No, the end bit fell off it, yeah.
So sad.
I did use that for a long time though, when it did work.
Yeah, when
it did work.
It ended up being a piece of scrap.
Yeah. Question number 3. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages?
I try to stop after a chapter. But because like I said earlier on, because I use reading as a device to get to sleep, I often run out of energy. So when I do pick the book back up again, like the next day or a few days after, I realise I'm like a couple pages from the end of that chapter. It's quite frustrating.
I always finish a chapter. I can't even think about what I would do if I read half a chapter and then stopped. I remember once I was going to work and I was reading before work and I had to stop halfway through a chapter. And it annoyed me all day. So yeah, I always try to finish a chapter. So that's my answer. Question number 4. Do you eat or drink while reading?
No, I can't. It's just because it's very difficult to like hold a cup while you're reading in bed. You're like, ooh, quickly pour like a straw or something. I can't do that.
No, I do. Again, I read during the day mostly, and I read on the sofa. So I have a cup of tea usually, or couple of biscuits.
You're really classical in that way.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can imagine like a bit of fire, feet up. Tea.
Oh yeah, cosy reading. That's
like
me. Question number 5. Multitasking. Music or TV while reading?
Just music. As long as it's in the background and it's got no lyrics or anything like that. As long as it's like melodic, then I can deal with that. But no rap in the background.
Nothing for me. I have to have absolute silence. In fact, the other day AJ was playing a game online, weren't you, with your friend? And I had to leave the room and read in the other room because, no, it's just, in general, any talking, I can't. I have to leave. That's the weird thing. That's the only time I can listen to people talking while I'm reading is on a train. Because there are obviously people around me talking.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because of the like noise of the train itself, but it kind of drowns it out for me. So I don't mind that so much. But if I'm at home, silence.
Yeah,
it's
silence.
Otherwise I just can't. Question number 6. One book at a time or several at once?
One at a time, one. just one. I go, that's my yearbook, I read this one. So.
Yeah. I read, I usually have a stack of books that I'm going to read like very soon. In fact, they're over on my mantelpiece.
Yeah.
But I read only one book at a time as well as an audiobook. That's the only two. I will have 2 books technically on the go at a time. Like right now I'm reading Gone by Michael Grant physical copy, and I'm also reading It by Stephen King audio. So I can do the 2 because they're completely different mediums, but I couldn't read multiple books at the same time. I used to, but I can't anymore. No. Question number 7. Reading at home or everywhere?
At home. Unless it's in a homely place, like a hotel or a B&B, something like that I can do, but no. I wouldn't take like a book out into a park, for example, or by the beach. I couldn't do that. It's just a bit. It feels awkward to me. Plus wind. I can't do that. So at home, definitely.
I have obviously already answered this kind of and said everywhere really. I read on the train. The only place I don't read is like a bus or a car because I do get really car sick, so I can't do that. But I have been known to read in a park. I read on the beach before, by the pool. I read pretty much anywhere, so.
I'd be afraid of dropping the book into the pool.
In the bath, I don't have a bath in my house right now, but when I used to live at home, when I used to live with my parents, I always used to read in the bath. I used to get told off because I was in there too long. So that was a good bit. Question number 8. Reading out loud or silently in your head?
Silently in my head. If I read out loud, for some reason I read like a quarter the pace. And I can talk quite quickly, but when it comes to actually reading something out loud, I can't do that very well for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I must have fallen out of practice or something, but in my head, much faster.
I read in my head, I think like the fact that you can read a book faster than an audiobook, because the audiobook is once you have to say all the words, obviously in your head you say it much faster, so I think, I definitely always read in my head.
But you also have that series that you're doing of the Harry Potter chapters, don't you?
Yeah, so I, like for videos and things, I might do them. I'll link those below if you want to read and read along with me. But no, normally I read in my head. Question number 9. Do you read ahead or even skip pages?
I tend not to do that, unless it's The Martian. Now, I read The Martian, a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Thereabouts, you got that from me, it's very kind.
I did.
But the problem with The Martian, for example, if you haven't read it, I'd recommend you do.
And then watch the movie, because the movie's amazing.
Yes, watch it in that order, do it in that order, because the book explains so much about its character development, as opposed to this...
I did not enjoy the book very much, just because it was very sciencey.
That's
just a personal
There are segments within the book that are very scientific, and my eyes just glaze over and I skip the page. Because
so you kind of skip bits that are a bit boring.
The bits that are highly technical. People who are scientifically minded would enjoy that, but you don't lose anything by doing that in that book, because I haven't read that many books that have that much technical information in them. But for me, that didn't detract from the story.
You gave it a 5 star.
I did give it a 5 star. Definitely, I would really recommend the book then the movie, because you'd so appreciate how much he's gone through to get where he is in the movie. It's so much better in my opinion. But you've got a few, don't you, like this? Yeah. So I actually talked about. I'll link my December wrap up video below. But I actually talked about Pride and Prejudice, because I gave that a 5 star when I first read it, and then I listened to the audiobook in December, and I gave it a 4 star. Not because I didn't like it. I liked it less, but because when I read the book, I can skip the parts that are very flowery. Like Jane Austen is very flowery writing. Now it is beautiful writing, but it is very much like embellished. So I think it was interesting to listen to the audiobook, but because you can't really skip like little bits like that, it was much more long-winded, I found. So that's why I didn't give it a full 5 stars. But I did still really like it. I just think that generally for me, I do sort of, not skip bits, but kind of skim read the stuff that's really like flowery. And so that's why I find audiobooks can sometimes be a bit much, because you're like, oh, I've got to listen to this by every line. Skip. It can be a good thing as well, obviously, but no, sometimes it's just like, just skip that bit, like I don't really need to know that. But yeah, that's kind of what I think. Yeah. Question number 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new? I try to keep it like new. I don't like the sound of when people break the spines on books. And although I'm not much of a book reader, I still have a really important place in my mind for books. Like I hate when like in schools. I'm getting triggered now, I realise. But when in school, people used to get the books and just crack them back and lay them flat. I don't like that now. As new as much as possible. See, I'm actually opposite to you in this. I think that, not that I deliberately break the spine. I don't do that. It's not like I'm going to go ahead and rip the spine across. But I think I quite like the fact that once I've read a book, it looks like I've read it. Not necessarily ripped, like broken, sorry, but
definitely like creased. I think I actually quite like that fact because it's like I've read it and I quite like the fact, like generally I like books that look like they've been read.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, if a book looks pristine.
I think having a bit of wear is fine.
Yeah.
But it's when you have people who have.
I don't like crack the spine back.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's
But opening the book is fine.
Yeah, I think because you just
You don't
people
like
that read it like this.
peer
No,
into the book.
I just can't do that. I think it's not enjoyable to read, and that's what I read to enjoy. So
Yeah,
I don't think
absolutely,
that
that
it
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Question number 11: do you write in your books?
No, not in the books that I read. No, absolutely not. And in fact, actually, when it comes to my studies as well, I don't write in those books either. No, absolutely no.
Oh.
You found a book though, didn't you?
Huh?
You found a book though that you wrote in when you were much younger.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to grab it off the shelf.
We've still got it.
I studied Jane Eyre at school and I loved it, but as I'm reading it, I actually quite like the fact that it's written in. Let me just find, clearly now I cannot find a single bit that's written in.
So many pages flying by and they're pristine.
Ah, there we go.
There
So I highlighted and wrote in this book because it was kind of expected when I did my course. Like I said, I love Jane Eyre. It's one of my favourite classics of all time. In fact, I think it's probably my favourite. But I quite like the fact this is written in because I like to read it and kind of look back at the fact that, oh, what did I think about that? And just kind of adds to it for me. Plus this is a Oxford World's Classics, the ones with the notes and things inside, like written by other people, and like the bibliography and the notes on the text. So I think it's kind of one of those books that's meant to be studied. And it's the Open University set book as well, so I just really like this, and it's quite nice for me that it's written in.
Would you do that now though?
No, I would never write in a book now, but I quite like the fact that this one is, just because it's one of my favourite books and it is so, like, I've studied it so much and I've loved it. So I wouldn't write in it now, but I think that because it is written in, I actually quite enjoy that.
And it'd be very interesting to find out how or why people write in their books. If you write in your books, why do you do that? How does it help you? Does it add to your enjoyment?
I know a lot of people use like post-it notes and things, so that's always interesting.
I just use a bookmark.
Not use bits of paper, use a bookmark.
Fair enough, okay.
Okay, question number 12. When do you find yourself reading? Morning, afternoon, evening, or whenever you get the chance, or all the time?
Evening. Definitely, it's a very deliberate decision for me. Like it's like a segment for me. I'll do my work and then I will play a game or something, do some recording, and then I'll go write dinner, then read.
Yeah.
I'll decide. It's a very, very active decision to read. I have to you deliberately pick up that book, so evening for me.
See, I'm all the time. I don't have a specific set time to read. I kind of read, you know, you've been here, like, while I'm reading and stuff.
All the time.
I just kind of, every now and then, I'll just fancy picking up the book and I'll read it. And I'll read about 50 pages, then I'll do something else, and I might come back to it. It's generally the way I do it, yeah.
To be fair, yeah, that's the way you do it. All the time is an exaggeration, so.
Question number 13. What do you do first, read or watch?
Right. Now, referencing my Martian answer, I read that one first, and then I watched it. But, generally speaking, I'll watch first. I'm such a hypocrite. Watched and read.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. I think if I've already got the book or whatever, like very often I'll know about one of them first. So if I know about, like for example, I read Me Before You last year and I haven't watched the film yet, but because I was waiting to watch it. And like The Fifth Wave, I read that in December and then we watched the film together. But generally, if I know a film is out that I've got the book of, then I'll wait to watch it until I've read the book. But I don't kind of buy the book specifically to read first before a film. Like if I already own it, then I might, but otherwise I wouldn't do that. Question number 14. What form do you prefer? Audiobook, ebook, or physical book?
Physical book. There's something quite cherished about having the real actual book sort of in my hands. It's a bit like when you pay for things. You can pay with either a card or you can pay with cash, and people are more mindful when they pay with cash rather than card. Like for me with books, there's something a bit more important about having the book, a bit more respectful even when I can speak, about having the book. So, and also because I never got into the ebooks side of things as such. Fine for resources and whatever else for study and stuff like that. But as much as if someone said to me, would you like the because I do digital painting. If someone said to me, do you want Digital Paintings Volume 2 download or the book? I take the book. because it's something, I find it easier to digest that information than on an ebook in some way. Again, you're really flexible in this. I'm quite sort of...
No, I don't think I am. I have a Kindle, I don't ever use it though.
Oh, I remember telling you
I used to read it more,
yeah.
I don't really read it very much. I like to have the physical book. I think I just prefer that, like turning the pages, and I just prefer that. I think a Kindle is good for certain things, like if you're going away somewhere and you don't want to take a big pile of books, that's fine. Or if you need to read in the dark for whatever reason, like maybe if we don't ever read in bed, but if we did, like if you were trying to sleep or I was trying to sleep and the other one was trying to read, then maybe a digital like copy where the light's on it would make sense. I just don't like to read that way. I used to, and I really wanted to. I was really wanting to get into it, but to be honest with you, I just think I'd rather read paperbacks or hardbacks or just a physical form of some kind.
Cool.
And then the last question is, do book series have to match?
What do you mean?
Okay, so you're not a booktuber, so you obviously don't know what this means. So basically, if you
I've got
have
a gaming channel, what do I know?
you have a like set of 3 books, like in a series, do they have to be the same editions? Like in the same, like for example, a lot of the time when like the 2nd or 3rd book comes out, they redo the whole series in a different like cover.
No.
Do they have
That
to be
wouldn't bother me.
See, it doesn't bother me either, because it might do if I put them all together, but for example, like my Harry Potter books, none of them, like I think I've got some hardback, some paperback, I've got one that's from the adult version, and it does annoy me a little bit that I've got an adult copy, but the only reason it annoys me is because I don't like the adult cover very much, nothing to do with the fact that they don't match. I think for me, like on my shelf, because I've got rainbow shelves, as you can see now, because you've probably not seen them properly. But yeah, I've got rainbow shelves, so none of my book sets are together anyway. My books, like, they go with the colour rather than the series. So I'm not really that bothered, to be honest.
No.
No, it doesn't really make any difference to me whatsoever. So guys, that was the Reading Habits book tag. I don't know if we should tag people.
Should we?
Yeah, I'm going to tag... I keep tagging them and I'm sure they don't mind, but it is Lucy and Scott from the Bookmarks. They tagged me in a tag last year and I did it and I loved that.
They're lovely people, so
yeah,
check
so
them out.
I would definitely tag those. Who else shall I tag? I will tag Becky from Beck's Books. I think I've got that right. I will link it below. Because I love her channel, she's amazing, and she likes library books just like me, so
yes, yeah.
one of my favourite things, so I shall tag her. I will also tag Let's Book About It as well, and I'll link her channel below too. So yeah, I hope that you do this tag and really enjoy it, because we certainly did. And hey, rope your partners in if you want to as well, that would be great. And yeah, so I will link AJ's channel below. I always do at the bottom of all my videos, but I will link him prominently this time. He'll be near the top. I hope that you liked this video. We really enjoyed filming it.
We did.
We're back to filming again.
Let's get a shameless plug in here. And also do check out my channel soon, because our favourite little booktuber here is going to be starring in very soon as well. That's going to be a great laugh. Stay tuned for that.
Yes, we filmed on your channel too.
Absolutely.
So I will also link any videos that we do together in the description bar below. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye guys.
Bye.
Oh, that was good.
Oh my heart.